Hi, I'm Hal Ottaway with the Wichita Postcard Club, and it's time once again for a postcard of the week. And this week, I want to go back to World War II, one of my favorite collecting topics, and show you just a bit of a topic. And as my friend said, postcards were made for correspondence. That's true. But this card is what they call a correspondence card. And I think you could easily collect, maybe there wouldn't be hundreds to look for, but there would be quite a few correspondence cards, especially from this time period, to be collected and enjoyed as a group. This is a card that shows factory workers coming out of a factory. You can see the factory in the background, and they're going through a chain link gate and fence area that says employees only. And chances are those people, they don't show them here with badges on, but a lot of times they wore employee badges with their photographs so they could be, recognized with who they said they were. This is interesting, and the reason I bought it, besides being one that I didn't have, is the factor of the female, the ladies who are working in the factory. And that was something that came about during World War II and hadn't been so prevalent up until then. It had been where the man, did all the work at the factory or the plant or something like that. And the women stayed at home and took care of the home front or the home and the kids and did all the work. But with so many men off in the service, women found employment and kind of became liberated, so to speak. This postcard, in a comic kind of way, displays that very well. Several of the ladies and men are carrying lunch pails, which, says that they were uh, taking, making their lunch at home and taking it with them to eat at the plant during the lunch hour. Well, let's look at the correspondence card. The lady who sent this has done some little checkings here in the box, and you can look at it closely. But it says, "My dear," and then it says, "folks." So sending it to, people, a family, perhaps. It says, "I am thinking of you. And for recreation, I go fishing, spend my dough, and go to church." Well, that's good. Up here it says the place, and she's written in Stormy Lake. Well, it was mail from Minnesota, so that must be an area there in Minnesota. She says the weather is swell. It's warm, cool, and pleasant. And it says, "Can't come to visit you now because I can't find a horse." Well, that's a little humor. "Give my regards to Johnny and the whole family." And then she says yours, and then she signed it. And it's almost in a foreign language because I can't read her writing when it comes to her signature. But it's pretty neat and cute, and something that was mailed in 1945, so would have been probably available during the war years. It was also published in Aurora, Missouri. It's a card that is kind of localized even here for us in Kansas. But it's an interesting card and just something else for you to look at where it might have seemed a little boring to begin with, but maybe this has sparked an interest and you can read what they were writing, or maybe it's a blank and you could even fill it in and send it to one of your family or friends. That's it for this week. Join me next week for another Postcard of the Week. Thank you and bye bye.